So, what is the self inquiry? It is the best method for what? To purify the mind. Why we want to purify the mind? So that we can awaken and realize the real self. One thing. Second thing, that we can make our personal, professional, social life much better. Do you know what the subject matter is? Subject matter in the Eastern wisdom is always who am I? I believe in religion, I don't believe in religion. It means I believe in one God, I don't believe in others. We talk of that I'm a theist and theist, I'm a spiritual guy. It doesn't make any difference until we understand it clearly. The goal of life is to evolve. And evolution will take place only when we know who am I, what is the nature of the world, and what exactly is this existence. When I have a clarity, then I can think, speak, and act in peace and happiness. Before that, think of in your mind no possibility. The mind in delusion and duality, forget it. From where the duality and delusion comes? From the impurities of the mind. We have made it clear. Again, another DD, discernment and dispassion. The mind is clear when it is here and now. Are you clear? Now I'm clear, but my honey is causing lot of problem. Done. You have created delusion and duality. No, you don't understand. I have a problem of I have a problem that I carry forward for the last 10 years. No, you are not understanding. You are not understanding at all. No, I understand it. What I understand, I have lot of problem and challenges with the world outside. You did not understand the true nature of the world. Do you see how the mind wanders and distracted all the time during the day? When you wake up in the morning until no, I have lot of physical problem. Then what? Who you are? You don't understand. If you have got married with this boy or a girl, then you should have known the problem. Who is this? What is this in my mind? Do you know that? Do you realize that? Commander in chief. No, my boss at the workplace, he is crazy. No, you are crazy first before your boss is crazy. We are talking about purifying the mind. How do you find the journey? What changes have taken place in life? If no changes are there and you claim you have been practicing for years, you are cheating not only yourself but also the teacher. From today, I will stop attending this session. Very good. Thank you. I will continue teaching. That is what happens when this impurity of the mind is not recognized. Not recognized. Then what we will, no, I'm on autopilot. I have put my life on an autopilot is what the animal life is. That is causing the impurity. I have to shake my head. I have to change my perception. So the master says that we have told you that here are the impurities of the mind. They are causing these symptoms and expressions in your life. You need to change. Am I changing? No, I'm not pointing to anyone. How many times now? That is why I asked the question, how many times You were upset, anxious, awfully busy since the last session. Couple of times. Then what is the frequency? What is the intensity? Do you find the frequency and intensity have minimized, almost negligible? Almost you look at the person whom you had a jealousy and the next moment it is changed. Come on, my friend. Yes, you are my friend. So you become aware of the trigger in the mind, your perception changes. That is why I discussed about that you all appreciated. Thank you. No, you appreciated me. Awake and aware. It caught your attention. I am awake. In a waking state, no doubt. But am I aware? If I am not aware, my life is on autopilot. How much time it takes you to be aware? That is the beauty of the journey. Once we understand. And then the next question I've been asking you, we have no right to die before we learn and study and recognize and realize our true nature. Why I said so, have you ever thought of it? I believe you all are contemplating. The way I am in a hurry, the way I am awfully busy in the matters of the world and the relationship, I'm also in hurry. I'm on an emergency mode. That is the answer of this question. What do you mean by it? What I said? We have no right to die. Can I die now? Yes, maybe after an hour. I don't know. That is unknown. So I put my life on intensive care unit. I'm just expressing the way we can understand in this modern time. My life is on intensive care unit. No more this, no more that. Pertaining to the word, everything pertains to. Complete the sentence. How to know? How to know if I have the enemies of the mind still present, the impurities are still present? I told you the famous verse, Satasangatve Nisasangatvam. You are listening and learning constantly. The mind goes into the mode of detachment. First, the moment you have a detachment, you stop being fully busy. Your life is organized. You are calm and peaceful. You continue the journey. What happens? Dispassion. You continue the journey. When the dispassion is there in the life, then you take the outer world lightly. Don't you understand, honey? Why you don't understand you are sitting ideally? Your state of calmness responds, yes, you are right. I'm sitting calmly, but let me do the work calmly. Are you getting it? Say yes. So you see, how do I check myself? My daily behavior, thought, speech, and action, listening and learning, doing the practice, contemplating and reflecting. The more you contemplate and reflect, that sense of constant thinking caused by the attachment drops down. And then from there, the mind moves to the state of dispassion. Am I in a dispassion now? You need not to get attached with this be or that. Otherwise, you will feel frustrated. I don't go after the attachment. So, dispassion results into the steadiness of the mind. What do you mean by the natural state of steadiness of the mind? You need not to focus on anything. Why? You are not distracted. Why you are not distracted? And why you get distracted? Answer of getting distracted is because of the delusion and duality. So now you are already in the state of dispassion. No, but why there is no delusion and and duality? DD, two pairs of D square. Because there is a sense of detachment. Why there is a sense of detachment? You are listening and learning, being awake and aware. You digested and assimilated the knowledge. The knowledge you received, but you retained, you assimilated that knowledge. Then what? Now you are working on the mind. So what has happened? You have purified the mind. What is the result? You already know the result. Don't you know? Shock absorber, sense of emotional freedom. Wrong notions are gone from the life. This guy, whom I was telling you the story that he got frustrated with his uh, honey or soulmate, whatever, girl. So you want to say that I should stop having any kind of pleasure? You are still in delusion and duality. I never said it. Did I ever spoke about it? So it means I could find out the impurities in his mind. I said it will take some more time. How long? The moment you purify the mind. Understand, my friend. So natural state of the peace, and yet we have to complete the journey. I have yet to find the real self. You know what happens, when you say start, Arizona is now hot, so you start driving to Colorado. So the time comes, you have a breeze, the cool breeze starts coming. You know that now I'm going to realize the real. Did you understand this metaphor? Because you are following the path rightly, so you recognize, oh, there is a sense of calmness. I was caught in delusion and duality. Now there is no more delusion and duality. Sure, when you start going to Gangotri, from Delhi capital, Delhi capital is very hot, polluted, and gradually you start finding. So, outer level, you understand, outer level that now it is only 50 miles left. But you have a constant experience. There is a change in experience. Now the cool breeze is there. I could see the mountains and I could see the. You see those mountains and the Himalayas every day. Even if you have lot of challenges in the life. Those challenges pertains to the world. We will talk about that later. When we understand this, my friends, so when we understand the journey, we treat the path successfully. Can I make it in a hurry? We start with auspiciousness every day. Mind knows exactly now it has a faith that yes, real self is within me. I start the journey with awakened awareness. Sam? Yes. So that is what the Mangalacharan is. The moment the Mangalacharan is that I remind myself, otherwise what the mind reminds, I have lot of stress. When you had this stress, first time I had that stress 10 years ago. Very good. You are a good storyteller. Go ahead. You continue your stress for the last 10 years. You carry the burden on your mind. You are a good storyteller. I always receive good storytellers. Are you understanding in the face of discernment and delusion? Because that is why you invoke auspiciousness every day in the morning and before going to the bed. Why only goal is to evolve and help evolve everyone in the world. while living personal, professional, social life. So, what happens? You remember the discernment and dispassion against the delusion and duality. Now, ask the question, who is the creator of delusion and duality? There is some entity who experiences the delusion and duality. It is Commander in Chief. And how the Commander in Chief breathe its life? Did you get an answer? Say yes. Impurities. What are those impurities? When we talk of the impurities of the mind, we talk of, this commander in chief keeps the gangsters to support him. These gangsters work in a group. First is strong likes and dislikes. First, they want to attack. They have an AK-47. Likes and dislikes. Her second is the trio group, the desire. Let me, oh, I'm awake, yes. Let me become aware of the desire. What is that desire? Oh, you will make me happy. Not possible. You will make me happy. Delusion, dispassion. No one can make me happy. Happiness is inside. Finished. So you have attacked the trio at the very first. But even if you cannot attack at the first instant, no worries. Desire and followed by hesitation. Now I'm fully busy. It is only because of the desire seeking peace outside. This is what we are doing is self inquiry. We are applying the best method, but then we will go and understand how we define this self inquiry. What are the steps? But if you don't follow the conventional method and you don't apply in your personal, professional, and social and family life, this mind is not going to listen to anything in the self inquiry. Then what you will say? Ah, yes, so you teach meditation. Yes, I teach Eastern wisdom, Eastern. Okay, I have done it for the 10 years, but there is no effect of it. Why? Do you have an answer? Think. I will answer you. First, let me complete about this gangster wars that is going on inside your head with the desire, hesitation, greed. Greed means repeat desire. What do you mean by repeat desire? Habitual impulsive nature of my mind. I'm always impulsive, habitual. I want to do everything, same thing again and again and expecting a different result. That is what the repetition is. I have a lot of stress. So when first time you had a stress 10 years ago, you are repeating the same thing. You don't know, how I divorced. You divorced on a paper. What is the big deal? I understand. I'm just making you. I have to take the world lightly. Or you want to keep a stamp. I married or I divorced. Both are unhappy. How to follow the path. The applying the conventional method helps you to minimize the interference of the delusion and the duality expressed as the world outside is to blame, reaction, anger, hesitation, duality, conflict is gone. They minimize. It has to be applied in daily life. You can only practice meditation for an hour. You can listen to the talk for an hour. But after that, if you have understood, then I told you the bread and butter of this commander in chief are these impurities. And if we don't apply, then what happens? We keep on crying. We took birth crying and we die crying. That is why we have no right to die before we recognize and realize our true nature. True nature. So, what the master said, another point, master said, I have to be, a seeker has to be wise, not fool. Recently, I got one more student. He said, which book I should study? I said, how many books you have studied? Around 50. What happened? Nothing. I said, don't study any book. Listen to me. Listen to the teacher. And what was his topic? Why he wants to study? I want to compare the Bible with the book that you are going to offer. I said, you want to get engaged in comparison, you don't want to find who you are? Who wants to know the comparative study? Let the professor do in the universities and colleges. You need not to, you need to change your life. I'm answering the previous question. Why this mind goes after, follows the impulsive and the habitual routine? I have to recognize that, my friends, in order to bring about a change. So there, my master says the very impurities. What is the cause of the impurities of the mind? It is ignorance. Ignorance is the root cause of sorrow and the suffering. Ignorance is the root cause of sorrow and the suffering. Ignorance is the root cause of sorrow and the suffering. Once you understand and you keep in your intellect, there should be a clarity. Anytime I go into anxiety, duality, conflict, stress, blame, complaint, reaction, that is happening in the mind. The discernment and also the dispassion will also happen in the mind. Ignorance is the root cause. So, what I said, delusion, duality, present in the mind. Dispassion and discernment, present in the mind. So, it has a two flow. Do you still remember, Stephen? I talked about Mississippi River. It changed its flow. It was moving in one direction and it went into the opposite direction, and there was a big storm, and a lot of people died. And river, normally we realize that it has one flow. River also has a two flow. The same way the mind has a two flow. Which flow you want to follow? Delusion and duality, or discernment and dispassion? How to recognize it? How do you recognize my house is on the right side, not on the left side? When you are aware. Not only you are awake, but when you are aware. While listening to me, are you thinking of your challenges and the problems? And your mind is saying, that guy or girl is causing a lot of problem. What should I do? This BL guy does not understand. So you are already following a wrong path. While listening to me, you are awake but not aware. You may pose, I am focused, you see my eyes. I don't want to see your eyes. I don't want to see. Do you see? You have to recognize it. What you have to recognize? I have to recognize myself. Where is the smile? Ah, yes, yes. You started thinking something. Don't think too much. So, because we follow that habitual pattern, unless we break this pattern through awareness, it does not need any effort. The last point, I will repeat it again next week, but I tell you, keep in your mind. I think I discussed about it a bit last time. Complete ignorance. What is complete ignorance? I don't know anything about the world and about myself when it happens in deep sleep. So, complete, that is a complete ignorance. What we say, ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is bliss. So, as long as I live in ignorance of that my honey loves me so much, oh, it means you are getting a love like you are getting money from the honey. Not possible. Complete ignorance, my friends. Today I will go to the honey and I will tell him or her that there is no love coming from you. No, did I say that? Then you are not wise. I don't want to say opposite of it. I am teaching my mind. I am not teaching my honey. Are you understanding that? My friends, I am teaching my mind. I am not teaching honey. So when I taught my mind that the peace and happiness are not found outside in the world of people, place, time, situation, relations, condition, it lies within me. So I have recognized, I have realized, now let me express peace and happiness with everyone. So complete ignorance. Ignorance is bliss. We always say it. How many of you say complete knowledge is also bliss? Complete knowledge of what? Complete knowledge of who am I? I'm pure consciousness. What is the nature of the world? Constantly in flux like a river. And I know which way to go. So when we are caught in between incomplete knowledge or incomplete ignorance, so called whatever you want to say, when there is a mixture in the mind, there is no complete knowledge and there is no complete ignorance. You want to know complete ignorance? I told you the story, you might recall. The couple went to their house and the husband sat down and he started taking one pack of vodka, second pack, third pack. Then he looked at the girl. Actually, it was his wife. Said, "You are so beautiful. Honey, can you drop me to my house?" Husband and wife are there. So when I am intoxicated with the impurities of the mind, which is vodka, I just gave an example, then we see, can you take me and drop me to my house? He is already sitting in it. He stopped recognizing what is right and good. Did you get it? Even if you don't get it, I will continue. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed and being comfortable. I told you, I believe you will still recall the way I discuss and give you the instructions. Were instructions so simple? I say, look at the neck joint, be aware, feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Then look deeper inside the space. The space is awareness, and awareness is the space. Simplest instruction. But if it is not supported by knowledge, I said complete knowledge. Did I say that? When it is not supported by the complete knowledge, then what happens? It remains incomplete from where I started today's journey. Look at the shoulder joints, physical level. You experience the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Rise in awareness. Do you remember? Moving inside is basically the rise in awareness. And still another step to raise your awareness. You look at the space or emptiness. Space is awareness, and awareness is space. So at that moment, that awareness and space are actually one. Let me answer that question, that why I become habitual even if I understand. I project that space. It is not natural. Projection of the space comes from the delusion. As I project happiness outside in the world, so I project. It is so subtle, but still it is very extremely painful. But we recognize it as a pleasure. How come? I gave an example of this couple. Returned to their house, he started. So he got totally intoxicated. He wanted to forget. He wanted to be in this moment of pleasure. Anyhow, being carefree, I told you, highway. I think everyone loved that. So follow that consciously. Lane 1. Unwanted, unwelcome thoughts are there. Lane 2 is the intellect, where the discernment, the jewel of intellect is the discernment and dispassion. Who makes the intellect criminal? Delusion and duality. All the gang war starts from here, and it intensifies the lane 1. So what I'm doing nothing. Unwanted, unwelcome thoughts are coming. Let them come and go. I'm standing across the road. What do you mean by standing? That is what the intellect is, lane 2. When you separate it, you are already there. Where? Calmness is there. Will it happen in a day? No. So we have broken that habitual impulsive routine. We can also break that habitual routine by replacing the thought. You know that when I said that detachment is there, attachment and detachment both work in the field of constant thinking. So when I say mantra, you are thinking, but thinking in another direction. Is it possible to flow of the mind? You have to choose one. See the clarity. When I said complete ignorance, so I'm thinking it coming spontaneously to me. So complete ignorance, no, let's have complete knowledge. Oh, that is why I'm doing the practice. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Three steps of mantra. First is chanting the mantra. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. You can also say in your mind. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. What is the meaning? Let everyone be happy. Now, the knowledge part, meaning is okay, but what do you mean by it? Why everyone should be happy? If your mind challenges you that everyone should be happy, why shouldn't I be happy first? Commander in Chief is active. Do you see that? And then the knowledge says that everyone is seeking happiness in the world, including all the living species. That is why I am recognizing and accepting everyone is seeking happiness, including me. So I'm little extra careful naturally. Why? Because I follow the path of Eastern wisdom. Others are not following. Other gets angry. Let them. I will maintain my calm and poise. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Let everyone be in peace. Again, the same meaning you can use it. Peace is all or saying. If I'm seeking peace because somewhere deep inside I am of the nature of peace. And so everyone. When you think in that way, that very layer of the delusion and the duality dissolves. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Perhaps I have given at least 50 different meanings of this mantra over the last almost 50 sessions. Any few of them is retained. This mind does not dare to run after the impurity. Purnam Bhavatu. Let everyone be complete in itself. Everyone, fact is that we are whole in nature. That is why we talk of holiness. Now, when we talk of holiness, oh, that is, I'm a great spiritual guy. That is why you are having lot of conflict. You see, complete ignorance and knowledge. Let me give you another meaning. When your mind completely drops the idea of seeking peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom from the world outside, that mind is naturally steady. It recognizes the wholeness and holiness. Now compare this understanding with holism and wholeness and long list, and then search on the Google. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let there be auspiciousness for all. Auspiciousness, remembering, recalling. I am peace and happiness. That recalling is also auspiciousness. Let the situation be guided by the discernment and dispassion. Why? Calmness and peace. There are many ways to understand it. We have done the mantra, now we are going again another step to purify the mind, looking deep inside the forehead in the space. You are saying, what you are saying? You are saying Om Shanti or Shantoham. Let us say Shantoham. Shantoham. And start breathing from the chest. Quick, short, and gentle breath into the chest. Shantoham continues, body remain in the state of steadiness. Keep on, continue the journey. I know the impure mind, supported by the commander in chief, is always ready to stop you. Where is the way? You are already awake. You are listening to me. Remain aware. What happens? Remain aware. You are in the lane too. You can easily choose what to do. Continue the journey. And stop it. Do nothing. Recognize, accept the changes that you are experiencing. That may include tingling, numbness, freezing of the body, hot and the cold, vision in the colors. Okay. I had the unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. Now I have these experiences. What should I do? I remain aware, recognize, and accept. I believe you understood this. Shantoham continues deep inside the forehead. That means I am the peace. And now start breathing into the belly. You inhale, belly expands. You exhale, the belly contracts. Little longer breath, a little hissing sound. Continue, my friends. Continue. Continue. Pay attention, everything is working in orderliness. Your belly expands and contracts. Shantoham continues. Mind says no, it is one flow of the mind. Mind says yes, it is another flow of the mind. They both are independent. I'm doing in between to make you recognize the way this breath is little deeper than the rib cage breathing. Continue. Where again our intention is to purify the mind from the impurities to weaken the commander in chief. Why? To have a new level of awareness. But why? To have a complete knowledge. For what? Complete knowledge of the self. What is that state? The highest state of meditation. Leave this. Recognize and accept the changes that is taking place, that you are experiencing now. And in that state now, keep looking deep inside the forehead again. Shanto Ham means I am the peace. Now your thinking is changing. Feeling is different. And now start breathing both from the belly and the rib cage. It's a longer breath. You inhale into the belly, it expands. Continue inhaling into the rib cage, it expands. Exhale. First from the belly, then from the rib cage. Check that. Are you really doing the long, deep, and the hissing breath? Shantoham continues. Body remain in the state of sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Why I stress upon these simple points? The mind can break up the habitual routine. It will not say, I have been doing it for 10 years, no result. Now do like this every time you have a result. Deep, long, hissing breath, Shantoham, sensation, comfort, and steadiness in the body, and ruling all the objections dropped by a feeling or a thought in the mind. You're dropping the opposite flow. I have to move on the right side. Why I should go to the left side? That very awareness coming from the intellect, you are recognizing the power of discernment there. And I say, leave that practice, experience and recognize and accept the changes that is taking place. Today we will follow the nyas instead of a triangle. Pay attention. You start breathing deep, silent, slow. No noise at all. As you inhale deeply, silently, and slowly through both the nostrils, first into the belly, then into the rib cage, while breathing out from the belly and the rib cage. This is your card. Who is driving the mind? What it means? As you inhale, move the mind from the crown of the head at the top to the tailbone. And as you exhale, move the mind from the tailbone to the crown of the head. The car is, driver is the mind. When who is sitting? You are sitting with your intellect. So what the intellect is doing every time you inhale, the mind moves from the crown of the head to the tailbone, singing mentally Shantu hum. When you say hum, you reach at the tailbone. Again you exhale. Shantu hum. Mind reaches to the crown of the head. Hum ends there. You're using the mind, the breath, the intellect, and also you can say the ego. So what that ego? Ego becomes the ripe ego. It does not remain the unripe. Unripe is criminal. The ripe is helper. Continue, my friends. Unripe ego, how to recognize it? Every time it objects, whatever you are doing, that unripe ego separates. Your body is somewhere, mind is somewhere, emotion is somewhere, thought is somewhere, and you have a lot of unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. I'm only saying recognize. I'm not saying fighting with it. You recognize it means you are aware. When you are aware, you know how to do the nyas. That is it. Every step has a different, one common rule from outside purify the mind. But some steps helps to purify the mind at purely at the outer level, at the subtler level, at the subtler level. So this works at the subtler level. And deeper than that is the triangle step. Well, understand. No worries. I don't keep any knowledge with myself. You have a right to know. Now leave this, recognize and accept the changes. Now start with the japa, 16 points. Shanto hum. The moment you say it's the mind's eye, look at that point. Mind's ear listens to the mantra. Mind's eye looks at this. Mind's skin touches it. You will have a variety of experiences. Are they extraordinary? No. For a seeker, it is normal. You don't boast about it. Why? Your goal is to know the real self. But you share those experiences, which helps not only you, but others. Keep on. Shantuham. Your level of awareness becomes so intense the moment you start with the Shantuham. From the start to the end, the mind's eye, the ear, the skin, and the tongue, they all are together. Then what happens? The energy, which we say the prana, goes there. What happens when you gather the energy of the sun by concave or convex lens and you focus that energy to a particular point? Desire is the impurity of prana in the mind. Then what happens? Purification. We may have an experience as if we are out of the body experience, transcending the body, rise in awareness, and longest. Keep on. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms. Wait there for a while, know your experiences. bring the hints down, share our experiences. Now, good, bad, high, low, it's your experience. So, how are you, Stephen?
Good, thank you. A good meditation. I contemplate and reflect a lot, especially again after this past Saturday's call. Um, the thing that I started to apply or think about is going back to the principles of listening and learning, contemplation, reflection, and And what I realize is that the important part of self inquiry is understanding that listening and learning doesn't just apply to the words of the master or the Eastern wisdom and so on and so forth. It's actually listening and learning from myself and what are the triggers? What am I feeling? How am I feeling? And why am I allowing that? Because it all sits here with me. And I was driving yesterday and a guy cut me off, and instantly I was like, okay, the old person would have been like, "What are you doing?" and go and lose myself over it and whatnot. But that guy's on his own journey. He's got his own situation. I don't know his situation, and therefore it's not him making me upset. It's me allowing him to make me upset. And it all just came in a full circle. And I was like, okay, I see this. So there's got to be this self inquiry on almost everything that goes on. And it just makes it simpler and simpler, which led me to today's meditation that it was just, I focused on the empty space. And it wasn't about me, but about this thing larger than myself. And I just found this dark space that just continued to expand. Um, and it was over. So,
It's such a beautiful way. It is self explanatory. So, when your mind expresses the way you want to live and made a choice, I'll pick up a couple of points. One is the incident with person. The other person is angry and upset. What I have to do with him or her? I have to do nothing. And that can only happen when I'm not only awake but also aware. And I heard that principle, it is already assimilated in my life. It is totally digested. Another way is to see that I'm larger than myself. I'm going to talk about that. Those principles will come. What it means. It simply means I am breaking the limitedness caused by the mind. Ignorance is feeling that sense of limitedness. I feel so much limited in myself. Because of that, I want to break that limitation. So I say to you, I love you. Why don't you love me? Are you getting it? That is the journey of expansion of the consciousness. Beautiful. Thank you. Stephen, let us go to Brandy. How are you?
Morning, I'm good, thank you. I decided during my meditation today to apply your advice about taking it lightly to the meditation, and it was lighter somehow, and it was really deep. And I got cold, and I saw things and all the things that happen, right, for purification of the mind. So it was nice.
Yes, Brandy. What happens that's why we keep on talking. We don't allow you to talk. No, only in the last session. So what happens? You pick up a single principle, and that changes the whole practice. Do you see that? Stephen got another step, another statement, and she has another. But ultimate result is this: you take the word lightly, do it casually, the life changes. But who doesn't allow us to take the world lightly? You know it. It is within you. How are you? How are you, Christina?
Good morning. Thank you. Two things stuck out today. I had my mind thinks, yeah, but he doesn't understand, and so that was really helpful today.
Okay.
And I got lots of chills, and it was really cold, and a lot of yawning. And I'm not bored.
You're not bored. Yeah. They are the changes in our energy movement in the body. And the yawning represents during the meditation when you clearly said that it has nothing to do with feeling sleepy. It is that I told you, I think I talked about, I made a statement. Desire is the impurity of the energy in the mind. Desire is the impurity. So mind at the subconscious or unconscious or the habitual or impulsive level is triggering the prana. And that is why we have those. But we are consistent, we keep on doing, and we get the good result. Beautiful. Christina, how are you? Let us pick up from New York. Sam and, first Sam.
Yeah, no, everything you're saying has continued to make sense. Been doing a lot of contemplation and reflection and feeling good. And meditation was very easy today.
Very easy today. Yes, it should become easy every day at all moments in your life. That is the key we have to think of it. Very good. Sam, wonderful. You also picked up the same principle. How are you, Terry?
It was all about awareness, the space, awareness of the battling, the commander in chief.
Very good. Yeah.
And during the belly breathing, I felt great heat.
Yeah. That's very good.
And then it finally went away. My breath was not as deep or silent as I would like.
Yeah, it's okay.
Otherwise, everything was, very good and easy.
Easy, wonderful.
Easy, but perfect.
You see that now today with reference to your challenges, the entire journey of the Eastern wisdom is to reach to a state where consciousness uses the brain. What is happening nowadays? The brain is using the consciousness. Is my brain infinite? It is limited. So it limits the consciousness, it limits me. That creates the I-ness. And if that I, commander in chief, is unripe, then it is going to cause lot of problems. When you recognize unripe, it is ripe. That is what is being spiritual. Normally say, no, I'm very spiritual. It has nothing to do with, it has everything to do with the faith. Okay, it has to do with the faith. Well, what faith you have? Blind belief. What is blind belief? Ignorance. What is ignorance? What is the result of ignorance? Suffering. Eastern wisdom makes everything clear. It has nothing to do with No, I'm a very spiritual person. You can't see how I am spiritual. I see myself. You don't see anything. So the moment the consciousness uses the brain, this body has no right to move. We will talk about it. So we have done. Vaibhav, how are you?
Thank you, sir. Sir, I'm good. Sir, while listening to you and while doing the practice, it was like that my engagement towards the thoughts were decreasing,
Hmm?
and my and what I am doing, my awareness towards that is start increasing. So whatever step I'm doing, I'm coming to know that this is I'm doing, and there's the thought. Here's the thought, but here I'm doing this step. It was working like this.
Yes, because I told you, here comes the you. If you are not a teacher, you need not to remember the principle, but your expression tells the story that you are evolving. So what the Bible is saying, remind us. I gave you the example. The mind has a two flow. One flow goes to the stress and suffering and ignorance, and the other follows the knowledge. So you recognize the engagement of the mind. So when there is an engagement of the mind in ignorance, you are already aware, you can drop it. Or it is naturally dropped. When you reverse the car, you don't start thinking, how can I drive forward? You are already reversing it. Did you get it? Even if you don't get it, it's okay. So now we will go to Ukraine. How are you, Anastasia? Then we will go to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm good. It was very deep meditation. Today I saw a lot of green color, and I wonder when I see colors because it's rare with me. And I'm very calmful, and thank you for reminding us about two flows. Yes.
Oh, yes, you heard that. Yeah. Yes, the green color represents a very deeper layer of balance of the prana. I will talk in detail about this as we progress further. But the best part that I am good, I recognize the two flow of the mind. That is very important. Normally, what happens, the commander in chief loves only one flow. What is that on one flow? Insecurity, fear, frustration, unhappiness, events and incidents. It recalls, it lives with it. Again, I'm repeating the today's session. So when it repeats means I'm thinking, I'm feeling. What is this? Attachment. What is the result? Desire. Desire seeking happiness. What is the next point? Trio. Do you remember the trio? Recall the trio in your mind and you know that. How are you, Ashok, sir? Ashok, sir.
Thank you, sir. So it was very peace and calm, and I mean, I don't say it as deeper stage, but I was not very much aware where I am sitting, but I was totally peace and calm.
Obviously, you are in a deeper state. Just compare Ashok a year ago. I was saying, please attend my session. I was begging him. Now, he had some other issues. That's why I was begging him.
Thank you so much, sir.
He was saying mentally health with you. Now you see there is a lot of changes in our attitude, in our responses. The situation outside is still the same. Your honey is still the same.
Remain the same.
Everything is the same. So what happened? The change inside. That is the way. Even the body may remain the same, but body will undergo a tremendous changes the moment the consciousness starts using the brain. That is all for today. Thank you very much. We will meet again. on Thursday.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.